I dropped out my 300 level. I wanted to learn. I wasn't learning in the Olabisi Onabanjo University. 1998 was my first ever contact with a computer. And that's how my life changed. Before I dropped out, I was already starting my startup with some of my friends. Because I was naive, I didn't even own the company at the end of the day. I doubt even I had 5% of that company. Virtually every single funded business in the last 3 or 4 years has failed. A lot of startups are trying to escape poverty. So their plan B is, if I have this idea, I can raise money, I can escape poverty.
Welcome to another episode of Building Wealth with Femi. In this podcast, we're going to be learning from professionals, successful industry builders, entrepreneurs, from how they build their businesses, the errors they made, and how they were able to get over those. We're going to be learning a lot from them. Today, I have somebody in the tech industry, Mr. Wande Adalemo, a tech blazer, co-founder of Nigerian First Metro Wi-Fi Network, founder of Wave 5 Wireless. Mr. Wande dropped out from university to building $1 billion broadband business. Welcome to the show, Mr. Wande.
Thank you. It's
nice meeting you.
Honor.
I heard a lot about you from a friend, you know, and he had a lot to say about it, and I'm just interested. Tech industry is an emerging, I wouldn't say it's an emerging industry in Nigeria, because I know we already have about $4 billionaires in the tech industry. I think about 4 of them.
Yeah.
Or adding to the billionaires we have in Nigeria, 4 of them are from tech. So I understand that in the next 2 years, we're still going to create more, and I'm talking about Nigeria, not internationally, we're still going to create more billionaires. So you must have been an early, you must have been in this entrance into this. Can you tell us how you got into tech?
I'm what you call an OG in the tech industry, a veteran. 1998 was my first ever contact with a computer. I was with my cousin Femi Rogers, and he wanted to send a mail to someone. In my mind, as an undergraduate in the University of Lagos, then my thinking was that a mail is something you go to a post office.
An email?
Email.
Post
mail. And so we went to his office and he sent a mail and he said, oh, his sister had responded to the mail. My life was shattered. I couldn't sleep that night.
So are you saying you did not know that you could
communicate by email? And then email in 1998 is not like what we have today. Remember those Yahoo with lines in those days?
Yeah, it used to be digital.
Yeah.
It used to be digital, but there was also fax.
Fax was very popular. Everyone knew fax, right? But to send a mail, right, and get an instant response was something that blew me out of my head. And I couldn't sleep that night. So I remember waking up in the morning asking him, what do you study in the university that teaches you how to let millions of people have this kind of thing? And then he laughed and he said, it's called networking. And that's how my life changed, right?
How old were you at this time?
In 98, I was just 21.
Okay.
Yeah, so it completely changed my life. So he started tutoring me. He was a top guru in the industry way back then. The days of Empyrean and United Telesis.
Okay.
So he tutored me and took me on. And that's how my sojourn to the tech world started.
So you had him as your mentor?
Yeah, I had him as my mentor.
What exactly was he doing in the industry?
He was a satellite engineer. He was a network engineer.
Yeah, I remember.
He was one of the top.
Big dishes.
Yeah, those big. He was one of the top network engineers we had. He was also part of the consortium, the experts that set up the internet exchange point in Nigeria. That's how top he was. He was then. So he mentored me, and in 2001, I created my own very first startup. We called it Infinite Broadband, and then from there evolved into.
What exactly was Infinite Broadband?
It was to deliver broadband speeds that we have in the US and the UK to Nigeria using a technology then that we refer to as WiMAX.
Okay.
But that didn't take off until, and the reason why it didn't take off was because we traveled extensively and we realized that WireMax will not solve the problem for us. Not LTE, not WireMax, not 3G, not 4G. The solution that will solve Africa's quest for broadband is Wi-Fi. Well, nobody agreed with us in 2001 or 2002.
Because of infrastructure.
Because infrastructure was a problem. And then Wi-Fi had its own limitations. But then we saw it way back then that the solution to mass market broadband in Africa,
the best way forward.
We're going
to start building infrastructure.
Is to have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So in 2009, I started a startup called Oxygen. And then we set up Wi-Fi at the computer village in 2011. The entire computer village had Wi-Fi, and it was just in time for the Olympics in 2012. Yeah, myself.
Your organization set up Wi-Fi
at the computer village. Yes, the entire computer village. To sell, yes.
Okay.
And it was a first of its kind in this part of the world, where you had a Wi-Fi coverage in the entire computer village. Then Minister for Communications came to the computer village to see how it was. Google, all the big boys.
Why the computer? Why not Broad Street in Lagos, where you have why computer village?
So computer village was synonymous with technology, with innovation. No. So it was synonymous.
Not the use of technology.
Yeah. Also, the use of technology was at the computer village. So you want to flash your phone, you want to update your phone, you want to couple a computer. Everything that had to do with the use of technology happened at the computer village. What they lacked was good internet access. Wi-Fi. And so we put up Wi-Fi there.
Okay.
And that was where everything took off. And eventually we rolled out across Lagos, Chicken Republic. We had Wi-Fi hotspot at every Chicken Republic outlet, all the malls in Lagos. And that's how Oxygen became a standard bearer. Eventually we won the Wi-Fi Company of the Year, and I was named the ICT Wizkid of the year for 2014. And then thereafter, I moved on to now set up my startup now, Wi-Fi Wireless.
Oh, I heard that you fell out of school.
Well, so school was...
Most of the billionaires nowadays.
So school, for me...
Yeah. Did you really fall out of school?
Yeah, I dropped out my intermediate level.
Okay.
School was not a challenge for me at all.
What do you mean it's not a challenge?
It wasn't a challenge. So before I get into university, I was expecting, of course, I wasn't doing the sciences.
Yeah.
I was expecting something that could challenge the way I think. Something that I would have a rigorous time going through. I wanted to learn. I wasn't learning in the Olabisi Onabanjo University.
Is that the problem with the school, which we don't want, or you?
No, so I wasn't learning because I'll get into class and the lecturer says something. I was expecting some rigorous debates. I mean, this thing needs to be proved.
Flogged out.
Let's flog it out. And so I'll raise my hand, I'll ask questions, and the lecturer will just take what I said.
What course were you studying?
I was doing mass communication.
Well, maybe it was, all lecturers are not the same.
No, yeah, we had Professor Fadonsi, we had Dr. Dare, who were outstanding, who would encourage debate, who would ask the questions around. So why do you think that is? Well, especially traditional African communication that showed us the powers of the IFA, all the 256 IFA, and how they are synonymous with current algorithms today.
So you were interested. You were already interested
in that
point, but you felt that you were not being challenged. You didn't have that kind of discussion going on
for the major courses we had.
I'm sure you are saying you are a little bit ahead of your time.
Maybe or maybe not, because I was already also coding for the guys in computer science. Most of their codes they were writing, because what I wanted to study in Labs and University was computer science.
That's what. So you were already interested, probably because of your cousin.
My cousin, and I was already doing some tech things, but my name somehow found its way to mass communication.
Okay.
And then the course advisor said, you know what, you want to wait for another year to get your computer science, or you just want to start something now? Because I'd already spent a lot of time waiting at home before I got to university. So I was coding for computer science students. I was taking tutorial for medical students in Shagamu, because I just needed something that would... So one day we were in class and one of the lecturers came in, I was taking something on advertising. And at that point I had done a lot of study on advertising. In fact, I had a study group in Oklahoma State University with some professors who would send me what a storyboard looks like and all of those things that they use in modern day advertising. And then he said something about unique selling points. And that is one of the key indices you look at when you're doing advertising. So I put up my hand again. I said, that has changed. It is value that he will now sell. So are you going to tell me that the bottle of this beer is brown and the bottle of this beer is green? Is that a unique selling point? We know that the content is essentially the same, which is why this beer will say you're an ultimate man. That other beer will say you're a shine person because you're selling value. And he told me to get out of his class. And that was the year I got out of school. I'm like, no, I can't take this mediocrity anymore. No, not because of one man, because the mediocrity and the standard of teaching was, I just couldn't understand why.
Well, so when you fell out of school, what happened after that? Did anything good come out of you getting out of school?
Well, I wouldn't say it was good, but because before I dropped out, I was already starting my startup with some of my friends. So my plan was to focus on the startup and build something. And this was 2000, 2001, 2002. Nigeria then was not ready for a dropout. When you dropped out of university,
you had to convince your parents that you wanted to go straight.
I had left home anyway. I had left home a long time ago anyway. So even though my parents were not happy, it wasn't really much of a challenge for me. I don't see things from the perspective of what people think about it. I see things from the perspective of the greater good. But the challenge we had while building the startup was we didn't have funding. There were no infrastructure, there were no support structures
even
around.
Up to now, there are no funding for startups entrepreneurs and businesses.
So surviving became a challenge. Now I had dropped out of school, I had left my father's house, I was stuck with my friends.
You had ideas.
We had ideas, but
no funds.
I remember the first time I met one of the investors that invested in Oxygen. I was at home, and then my co-founder today, Biola Akinyemi, called me. We were friends in school and called me and said, "Hey, that's your idea. Someone wants to invest in the idea." So, but we had to go and meet the person at Just Adiogun in VI, and I was in Ikponri in Abutemeta. I didn't have a dime, so I had to trek from Ikponri to Just Adiogun to go and meet this person. That was how. So I wouldn't say dropping out was a good thing. It was crazy tough. So that circumstance until we got investors in 2005, 2006, it was a tough period of time dropping out of school and then pursuing and building what we're building. It was really crazy tough.
Tell me, getting investors is not a joke.
Yeah, it's not.
Because I'm a businessman myself and I know convincing people. One of the things about getting investors is if you don't have a track record for them to see. You see, once you start doing something and people know, okay, this is something you can easily do, then they bring funds to the table. You didn't have a track record. How did you convince your first investors?
Oh, so at that time, there was some kind of track record, not necessarily ours. There was the MNOs had come in, right? And everybody saw how they just took off when they got into Nigeria. So there was a lot of interest in the telco and ISP space. And we were playing the ISP space. Plus, we were creating something very unique then. Unlike what we had around then, where you had to take some cable into your house, and very few people were doing the modern dongle thing. We had. And
you never done anything before that made money, and you were able to convince.
Yeah, so the idea was solid in itself, that they felt, you know what, let's put some money. In fact, the investor that put money into it was like, I know, I have read about WiMAX. Why do you want to do Wi-Fi? So he said, you know what, let's go to countries where WiMAX already work and find out why they're using WiMAX and we are saying we don't want to use WiMAX. So we traveled around the world to places where WiMAX was deployed. And it turned out it was exactly what I said WiMAX was that we saw there. I had already said that WiMAX will fade out, that it wasn't ready. It wasn't a mass market technology.
So it was ready to buy into it.
So it was ready to buy. So when we came back and we came back with the reports from the manufacturers, from the operators, he realized that, okay, these guys knew what they were talking about.
How much were you looking for at that point?
So I was very naive then. We weren't even saying this is exactly how much you're looking for. We just want someone to fund.
Come in with fund
the idea. At the end of the day, we'd raised about $3 million.
Okay.
Then that was That's a lot of money
amount
then.
of money.
Yeah, that was 2011, 2012, right? Which was part of the monies we spent at the computer village and rolling out oxygen everywhere.
So you don't have experience with partnering at that point. From what you just said,
Yeah, no.
you just wanted somebody to bring in money.
Exactly.
I hope you didn't have issues with
Of
your
course
partners.
we did.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
So, because I was naive, I didn't even own the company at the end of the day. I doubt even I had 5% of that company. I was giving what was called sweat equity, right? What that sweat equity was, I didn't know. I mean, I was just a young naive boy who just wanted this idea out there. And that affected the way the company was funded. It affected the way the company rolled out. So we had a lot of issues because telco is something that you scale. If you don't scale, you don't see. You also need to put the word out there. But my investors felt if it's a good product, to sell itself. It was very frustrating dealing with that kind of constraints. And there's very, very little you could do to change anything. Because I mean, I don't have the voting right. Even if I have the money, I didn't have the voting right to say, let's vote in this direction. So it was more like a one-man calling the shots.
Yes.
And that was eventually it got to a head where funding was stopped. I had to start doing consulting jobs to fund the business itself. Of course, you can't continue that for a long time, and then it stalled. And one day I just said, you know what, you guys can run this. I'm done with you guys. This can't continue.
I've been in businesses too. When you partner with people, this happens because people see things from different perspective. Have you learned to manage it? Have you had in this kind of situation in your current businesses, or what do you think about that?
So my co-founder now and myself, we have a symbiotic relationship, right? So the first thing from all my lessons is key into the vision, first of all, right? Do you key into the vision? So good. Now, what results are we expecting? What roles are we playing? So I'm CEO, right? But we have a co-CEO relationship, which means that what is the overarching vision, and how can the instruments we're using, the technology, the human resources, the funding, how can it help us achieve that overarching vision? So what I have done is to delegate authority and powers to someone else who understands certain things better than I do. So in terms of the coding, the software
business aspects.
Okay. In terms of the business aspect, the strategy, I take care of that. In terms
you're the tech guy.
So I'm a tech guy, but I'm also much more a business person than a tech guy. And my tech is in networking. Now, tech is broad.
Okay, yeah, of course.
But my co-founder strength is in DevOps.
More in operations.
Infrastructure for technology in terms of software.
Okay.
I am infrastructure on the network side of things. Fiber optics, routers, switches, radios. That's my own specialty. Now, the overall strategy around building the business, go-to-market strategy. How do we get funding in? What is the strategy we need to use to get the big boys to come on board? That's not investors now. So we started this new project we're doing in 2021, and we didn't want investors because of our previous experience. Investors always want to have a say.
Investors will have,
they always want to have a say.
Bring money to the table.
When they come in too early, they mess up the vision. When they come in when the vision has been established and they can see where it's going, then it's easier. So what we decided from day one was to say, we will bootstrap this thing to a point ourselves and get to a point where investors themselves can see, this is where this trade is going.
Yes.
And then we also wanted partnerships of a kind that will revolutionize what we're doing. So the first thing we did was, who is the biggest banker in terms of when you say, I have you on my side, everybody will like, oh, wow.
So you're looking for people that not just bring fund, bring something else to the table.
Board. So the Lagos State government was, if I say I have Lagos State government, everybody was like, okay, for you to get Lagos State government. So we partnered with Lagos State government. That was our first milestone. And it tallied with the vision. Why? Lagos State had infrastructure. They have bus stops. They have train stations. They have malls. They have a lot of public places where we could put our Wi-Fi. So if you partner with them, and they say this makes sense, then go ahead. So we did a partnership. They asked us to do a proof of concept. We did a proof of concept. They loved it. Okay, so let's go with the partnership. So the next kind of partners we need, and now the investors are like, take the back seat. The next kind of partners you need are the mobile network operators. They have congestion problems. They have perception problems. They have issues with their tariffs that they've increased. So if we get an MNO on board and the MNO says, your solution will solve my problems, at the same time enhance my ability to reduce churn in the market, then I'll partner with you. But the MNO wants to know who is in bed with you. Oh, you have Lagos State government in bed with you. Fantastic. The infrastructure that Lagos State has provided, the markets, the bus stops, are the same infrastructure they have always been looking for, but they can't get access to. You have access to that infrastructure. Can we partner? So we got an MNO on board. Now investors are saying, guys, can we talk? So it's easier to talk to investors now and let investors see this is where the money is. The first phase of the project is we bring about 7.2 million annual recurring revenue. That's the first phase of the project. So now investors are interested in that.
Invariably, you're advising that you need to get your idea, you need to build some momentum.
You build a minimum viable product.
Momentum before trying to get
investors in. In the startup ecosystem, we call it the minimum viable product. Once you have a minimum viable product, it can, and what I tell entrepreneurs, what's a minimum viable product? You want to build a Maybach, fantastic idea. But what does a Maybach do? It moves people from point A to point B in luxury.
Correct.
Good. So, can anything move me from point A to point B before we get to Maybach?
Yes.
So, can I get a scooter? If I get a scooter and it works and it moves me, low entry level. Oh, it moves me. So you guys can do this. So you're saying that if you scale it, it will get a Maybach.
Yes.
That is
unfortunately a lot of people come with big ideas.
Exactly.
And they have never done anything before. You know?
So we spent about $3 million of our own monies in this infrastructure. So it was easy for anyone to see that, oh, this is how this will work. It's easier for you to control the narrative around vision. Now, when your investors come in, they can now help you fine-tune that vision to say, oh, it will be better. Instead of completely railroading you like it happened to me with oxygen, they can say, oh, this vision is a great vision, but can you fine-tune it here?
Yeah.
Can you fine-tune it? Because investors have a say in how the business
it's their money. That will lead me to a question. You were able to partner with Lagos State, partner with one or two other organizations. Structuring partnership is one of the most tricky, difficult things. You have to be experienced to understand how to bring a win-win situation. And this makes a lot of people fail in the way they structure their partnership. Of course, there are different models of structuring partnership. I'm interested in exactly what you offered Lagos State. They don't need to have you and those other organizations. I know once you got Lagos State with you, it was easy for you to start using it to negotiate. How did you get that done?
So for any partnership, the first question is, what's the value? If you don't have value, and
what are you bringing to the table?
What are you bringing to the table?
English.
Yeah, simple English. And if what you're bringing to the table, I can get it. I can get it.
To ask that question. So what are you bringing to the table?
Yeah, if I can get that thing you're bringing to the table elsewhere, then why do I need you? But if what you're bringing to the table is what I cannot get anywhere else, then maybe I need to keep you. And that's our strategy.
So what did you bring to the table? Let us learn from that.
The infrastructure we have built, that we have designed in our own space, is such that it cannot be replicated by anyone. And yet we're not asking Lagos State government to pay for it.
Of course.
That's number one value. You're saving me money.
Yeah.
Tremendous amounts of money. Number two, my commuters at my bus stops can have access to unlimited data. In this Nigeria where people are shouting, the economy is hard. People need
data is free. That data is free.
The data is free for 30 minutes every day.
Oh, for 30 minutes
every day before they can pay. Okay. But in 30 minutes, you can download 1 gig of data.
Yes, and that's
another factor. My buses need internet access. So as they move from one bus stop to the other, they are connecting to the Wi-Fi network and syncing. You're also saving me money on a lot on that. That's number 3. Every other person they're speaking to is asking them for billions of naira upfront. We are saying, you know what? I need this infrastructure. I need these people because I'm building a solution that will aid these people. But a byproduct is that it will help you too. That's sold for them.
How did you hope to get your money back?
Myself and my co-founder were just bootstrapping. We had family and friends round. So I'm your friend now, right? And I'll call you. Egbon Femi, I need 1 million. Buy. I felt like, oh,
it costs you money.
Yeah, it costs us
Wi-Fi.
Not just Wi-Fi. We had fiber run to every single bus stop. Yes. Solar panels, power,
you did not have a strategy of getting your money back.
No, we had a strategy of getting
That's
our money
what
back.
I'm interested
Oh,
in.
okay. So the infrastructure we're building was such that once you join the Wi-Fi network, you become my product.
Okay.
So we created an advertising engine. We created a content creation engine that underpins the Wi-Fi network.
Yes.
So once you connect to the Wi-Fi, you're not just connecting to Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
You're connecting to a portal.
Okay.
So an advertiser, we did a test with the 2 bus stops that Lagos State government initially gave us. And we ran the ads for 40 advertisers. And they made 2.9 million impressions. So the business was make the Wi-Fi free and then get users on board and then get advertisers to see these users. But beyond that, when you click on the ad,
advertisers were paying for.
They're paying for, So when you click on the ad, you're not just going to go to one website. We created a storefront for you where your services and products can easily be seen and paid for. So the payment platform was also from us.
So you came up with this idea before you went to Lagos State.
We knew, we knew
That's
that.
smart.
We knew that.
But it would have taken you time
to build
it. Before you start getting revenue.
Yeah.
How did you survive? It's because I always tell people, you want to start a business, you need to have some money to run you for like a year or 6 months.
Maybe.
Because a lot of people, the mistake they make is they run into a business, they don't have funds. After 1 month, they run out. Business falls.
So I think the foundational thing is getting your vision right. So what we did, myself, Abiola, the first thing we did was write out that vision. Create. I don't believe in business plans because it's an idea, so there's no plan behind it.
I never wrote one.
There's no plan behind it. But put it down in writing, and then ask yourself, and then do your market research. We did a lot of market research extensively. Sit down with people at the bus stops. We could put a financial document behind it. We used an instrument called SAVE. It's called Simple Agreement for Future Equity. You don't have the equity now, but I'm giving you this $100,000, right? But I know I don't have equity in your business now. But this agreement, once you achieve what you want to achieve and you hit this threshold, our initial threshold was $10 million in valuation. Once your company is valued at 10 million, my equity converts at that time. Now our valuation is at $57 million. So those who put in money initially at times 6, times 7, or whatever they put in initially, virtually every single funded business in the last 3 or 4 years has failed.
Why? You just said that a lot of VCs that have invested have lost money.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is happening?
Number one problem is that we do a lot of copy and paste. We see something in America or Europe, we copy it and we paste it here.
And the environment
here is a completely different environment. Number two is that the criteria that the VC sets can easily be met because their criteria are Silicon Valley criteria. I will cook up those documents for you in Nigeria. But a VC that is on ground, right?
Understands.
Where is your office, number one? Oh, it's remote, Kinika. Sorry, Oga. I want to see an actual physical place where you actually do business, no matter how small it is. Let's see your customer count. How do you even count your customers? Number of people that visit my website, that's not the customer count. Paying customers or customers who are using the service actively every day, where are they? Show us the analytics. I want to see it live. Those things are cooked up, sent to Silicon Valley. Oh, okay. And they cross all the T's. Fantastic. Give them the money because if they think of that VC as being an American, they think of that startup as if it's an American startup. They are not. So they get the monies, now get into the market and build, and now realize that it's all not what they think it is. You have a concept in your head, you have an idea in your head, but the market tells you.
There is another, I've forgotten the name. All these people, when you set up an organization, they have a second game plan. Or what do you call it?
Yeah, the second game plan is
another. I've forgotten.
They have a plan B.
Plan B. That's a plan B.
The plan B is
just to get the money and go.
And then
which is common here.
It's common. You see a lot of startups. They move to Lekki.
Perfect idea. Everything is good, but they just want to get the money
and go. And even the idea. So one of the startups that came to Founder Institute was doing this Agile thing. And he's doing Agile with apps. And so I said, I don't think you know what Agile is. You want to do Agile with apps. Okay, so who are your customers? Lekki guys and Lekki girls. They understand apps. So maybe they say, no, market women and apps. You're not ready. So I took him to a market, and then we started talking to market women. We spoke to about 60 different market women. At the point he was tired, I said, you cannot be tired, though. We have to finish this project. We have to meet all of these people. He got back and realized that what you need for technology is not the customer. Technology is required at the back end. The front end is formal, straight-on foot soldiers that you need in the market. Today, he's successful. And a fork of that system has now been taken to Canada and become successful. Your environment determines exactly what kind of product you will deliver to them.
Of course.
The nature of the Nigerian.
Of course.
The Nigerian nature is to try to take advantage of something that is new, quickly use it, and then move on to the next thing. And the system is open, they'll take advantage of it. You have to factor in the character and behavior of a Nigerian into what you're building. A lot of the startups are also trying to escape poverty. So their plan B is, if I have this idea and God help me, I get close to Femi is close to those in Silicon Valley, I can raise money, I can escape poverty. The product is an immediacy, solves an immediate problem. It is not a product that can scale. It's not a product that can solve, that can move development and the needles in Africa. So I tell startups, if you are building something, ensure that it's solving a major problem in Africa at a scale that will affect 10 million lives. Like Paystack. They solved a payment problem that is solving that problem for millions of people. That's the kind of thing we need. We don't need a fancy slap of an app. And there's so many apps here, but the businesses are now wiser. They're now realizing that, this is not the kind of market you push this kind of money into. They're now looking for products that actually solve problems at scale.
Nigeria, in the past 2 years with the new government that we have, they have implemented reforms that a lot of people are complaining are impacting the different sectors negatively. And how does this impact your industry?
I would say it's a blessing. It's been a blessing.
What are you saying, that the floating of the naira is a blessing?
The subsidy removal and the floating of the naira, floating of the naira, removing the peg. I wouldn't call it floating, but removing the peg on the dollar.
Anyway, it would be a blessing to you because you earn in dollars most of the time.
No, we don't earn in dollars. We actually earn in naira.
How is it a blessing?
You see, for a long time, everything in Nigeria has been priced under subsidy. Even our industry, telco, we just recently increased the tariffs in our industry. For over 15 years, nobody could increase tariffs because the question is who can afford it. Because everybody was priced under subsidy, value was lost. Lifting the subsidy created an initial problem that
inflation.
But in Nigeria, because the peg has been removed, the actual corresponding value of the naira dollar is now out. So we say it's expensive. So these guys, what's their name? Shelia reporters, I've forgotten their name. They did an extensive study of Nigerians, and in the last 2 years of this administration, I was shocked with what the results came out. They asked Nigerians in all the 6 geopolitical zones, the economic thing that Tinubu has brought to us, this whole noise, what impact has he had on you? In the Southwest, 38% said their lives have become better.
This Southwest?
Yes. 41% said...
Is there another Southwest somewhere else?
41% said...
when I go on the street, everybody's
exactly. 41% said nothing has changed. It's still like it was.
So the remaining 20...
The remaining 20% said, it has become terrible for me.
So are you saying
there's a perception problem
the voice
of the 28? Yes. The Northeast and the North Central.
I'm sure people will drag you on this.
No, but there's data. There's data. They actually went to the market to prove this data. Subsidy made us thieves.
Yeah.
Augment your earnings with stealing. That will disappear. So if you don't have value, you are shipped out.
So the tech industry, according to the data I pulled up, is in the next 2 years is going to grow to a $32 billion industry in Nigeria.
Yeah.
This is a lot of money. But there is also a lot of people that are looking for funding in the tech industry. I am particularly interested in actually that industry and funding founders. And I've been doing a little bit of training into pivoting into a VC. You that has been in the industry, you understand the industry, and you've made, I think, a lot of money. What are you doing to help the people that are trying to enter this business?
So there are two categories. There are those who will set up enterprises. We call them entrepreneurs. So right now, I'm a volunteer. I've been director of Founder Institute, a volunteer role, where we help entrepreneurs build actual business. Just have the idea. Just come into the institute with just an idea. You spend 14 weeks.
Is that a government institute?
No. It's also
private.
It's private. You spend 14 weeks in the institute. At the end of 14 weeks, you have a minimum viable product. Then we can introduce them to investors like you who can look at what they have and say, this can scale, or this is not my interest. The second are those who would work for these entrepreneurs. Tech is ageless. It doesn't care about how old you are. As long as you can learn a skill, there's a job for you. A lot of the jobs are in, I categorize them into three categories. They are artisans. Artisans are those who design and develop things. So a lot of designing jobs are available. Artisanal,
in the tech industry.
Tech industry.
Yeah.
I'm a developer. I can code, and it doesn't take a lot to learn how to code.
Yeah.
Right. With platforms like Udemy, EDX, and the rest, you can learn.
Nigerians do that.
Yeah, you can learn something. If you can learn something, and the power of the brain is such that if you dedicate 20 minutes every day for 3 months or something,
you will improve.
You become an expert. So those are the two opportunities. Either you start a business, or you work in one of those businesses, because you can't start a business and you don't have working with you there. And the opportunities the salaries are crazy these days. I tell people that tech is simply a tool. It is not the business in itself.
Yes, it's not the
business. The business is still there.
So you need somebody that understands the business aspect.
Exactly.
You bring in the technology.
Tech just enables you to scale that idea faster than it used to be.
Correct.
But the business is still fundamental. The fundamentals of the business are still there.
People are talking AI, and they are thinking AI is coming to snatch their jobs. That's funny to you.
It's very funny.
It's not funny to me. AI can do anything.
So most of those things are futuristic. But let's look at what AI really is. Even today, you need to prompt AI.
Correct.
It's called artificial intelligence, but in essence, it's just a set of computers somewhere that are faster than normal computers that are calling the internet and databases and giving you information.
Pulling out data, yeah.
Someone still needs to
prompt it.
Someone needs to know how to use it. So AI is another tool that's been added to our repertoire of tools that we have.
So you're saying that human beings have to move up the ladder.
You have to move up knowledge.
Yes.
AI is not the next thing for us to pay attention on in Nigeria, because we don't even have the database to compete.
Correct.
There's something that the AI must feed off from. Yeah. We don't have a large language model that we can build. If I speak Yoruba now, AI will just go and pick Yoruba from the internet that it knows.
Yes.
It cannot apply it.
But that's an opportunity for people to translate.
Yeah, exactly. So translators, we need to first of all create that infrastructure for the large language model, but more importantly, enhance our communication infrastructure if we really want to participate. Otherwise, internet, in terms of communication, we need to enhance that.
I thought the government was doing something about that.
Well, the way they're going about it is not the way to go about it. It has to be all inclusive.
Mr. Wande, it's been a very interesting conversation with you, and I hope to meet you again, and talk more about technology and so on and so forth. It was a very exciting episode talking with Mr. Wande, and we hope to see you on the next episode where we're going to bring another exciting guest. Stay tuned.